his house because he was so unhealthy, and I took over this apartment from my mom, so I had to get a job to pay the rent here. So I got a job working at a group home up in Westchester. Um, so like from the age of, I think I was 19 when I, so for most of the 90s I was an assistant teacher counselor at this group home upstate for what they call emotionally disturbed kids, which is you get classified that way so you could get put in this institution. It usually means like you had a traumatic home life, like you had a bad situation with your parents and you built up defense mechanisms to deal with that trauma, so then you couldn't fit in school behaviorally, so you get sent to live in the group home. So that was the other big part of my formative years in the 20s was doing the radio show and my other hip hop things for the love of it, and then earning a living from this really intense deep job working with these kids at the group home. And it wasn't until like, and I think I needed that time to sort of build up my sense of self, my self esteem, um, my foundation, so that like I think when I hit my 30s, it wasn't really until then that I started trying to earn a living from my media and from representing the culture and doing my thing. Like in the 20s, I was basically doing hip hop for the love and working at the group home in the week.
Yo, that is like big, right? Because it makes a lot of sense for the way you feel. If you had to see that all the time, like, and you're probably hearing the stories on repeat all the time, right? Like of people that are going through stuff, right? I would assume, or
Yeah, I mean, and it's you. I learned so much. It was like we were all on an educational journey together because you learned so much from the kids just about trauma, how it affects you, how you overcome it, like learning from the resilience that these kids have, the community they cobble together amongst themselves, that slow work of like building a rapport with these kids who like they want to figure out every way to press your button and have a negative interaction with authority. But if you're patient and don't let them press your buttons, there's a real desire to have a positive relationship and have like a different way to relate. So that you just having the patience to figure that out over time was I learned so much just about human nature, how to work on yourself, how to inhabit the world, how to build healthy community for people who have been through some shit. So that's like I don't talk about that stuff a lot, but that's definitely a big part of how I look at inhabiting the world and putting ideas out there and like building community around my media comes from that work with the kids, and it's been an amazing blessing being able to reconnect with a lot of those kids from the group home on Facebook. Because when you work at a group home like that, like this is not a school where everyone graduates. Like there might be a graduation where like literally 3 kids graduate. For the most part, someone gets assigned to the group home randomly at some point in the year. And then one day you come to work and that kid's not there anymore. You never know. Like kids are just coming and going. So
wow,
you don't be getting to check like either the kid went to jail, he went AWOL and never comes back. Got sent to it like if one of the girls gets pregnant, they got to get sent to a different school. So it's just randomly like you really care for these kids, and they just you come to work one day and they're not there. You never know what happened to them. So it's been an amazing blessing. Like, and of course, all the kids didn't make it, but out of the kids who have made it, being able to connect with them on Facebook and see like they've gone on to have these lives and families of their own has been an amazing blessing from social media.
yo, I'm so glad you shared that though, because with that, there's like a big lesson about patience, and I think education is something that like the world is struggling with how to do it right. And so I'm
Hmm.
fascinated by how to educate. But what you said was huge, right? First, patience,
Yeah,
and once you with an understanding, right? You understood why people reacted the way that they did. There was an empathy play there. You had to like consider
yeah.
all of this stuff. So you had
And something I learned real quick is like a lot of people they come into being educators and kind of bring their ego into it. Like I'm gonna assert my will and assert my. I'm gonna make you do what I tell you to do, and you learn real quick that does not work with these kids. Like these are the kids that will punch the principal in the face at a
right,
moment's notice. So you're not just gonna assert your will. Like you learn that if you present to the kid what their choices are, like you can choose to do this, you can choose to do that. These are the consequences of these choices and make it put them in a position where they feel like they're choosing to do what you think is the right thing instead of you making them do it, you're much more likely to steer them towards the path that you think they should be on if you approach it that way
So,
instead of just I'm
what
laying down the law.
I swear what you just said, if we were to like take it from kids and put the word colleagues on other teams, that's a one-on-one with my boss. That's how powerful the notion of what you're describing really is. It's how I'm being conditioned to play a little bit better ball at work and do all the things I'm supposed to be doing in order to help get along with others and convince them that maybe there are other ways. But literally, I swear, what you just said is exactly what has been said to me in meetings on how to deal with people who have contrarian opinions to what I might want them to do.
Yeah, and it's working at a school like this, you're definitely going to learn the hard way because these kids do not care. It was amazing going from elite private school in high school to working at the group home right after. It's like, wow. Like the
The
just
shit,
the
the
lack
shift,
the
the
lack of
shift in
just compliance,
dynamics, and
right? The lack of just knee-jerk compliance to authority that the kids had at the group home, like I had to admire that in a certain way. Like these kids are bold. You walk in the room and say good morning, and they say, "Shut the fuck up." It's like, wow. It was kind of liberating in a way, even as you wanted to guide them towards knowing when to do that or not.
That's
Like
dope,
there
though.
was a power to that I think you can harness, which I think I've gotten to see as I've seen what became of them when they became adults and figured out how to put that in the right parts of their lives.
Nah, it's cool, but it's cool that you were that guy. You're like the dude that they make movies about later on in life. I'm not like no
yeah,
for real.
nah,
That's that
that's a
your
fact.
life sounds like honestly, your life sounds like a movie.
And yeah, let me ask you a question. Did they know that you did radio?
Yeah, that's actually how I got the job. I'm glad you mentioned that.
That's even doper.
Because I was, yeah. So there was a teacher at the school that listened to WBAI and used to record my radio show for his class, and they would listen to it in class. So my radio mentor, Anthony Sloan, connected with it. This teacher was also like a carpenter, so he used to do like building shit at the radio station sometimes. So he connected with Anthony, and Anthony was like, "Listen, I have this young man he needs to find a job," and he was like, "Oh, Jay Smooth, okay." So I came in and interviewed with the teacher and the principal. It was a real. I mean, honestly, I shouldn't have got this job because I'm 19 years old. These are high
Yeah,
school kids, and legally
yeah. A
you
super.
could be at this
You'd been the
group
same
home.
age as a super senior.
It actually didn't make any sense, right? And you could be at this institution until you were 22 legally. Um, so like I'm the only difference between me and the kids is like I have all the keys. And it's a testament to how low the standards are for care for these kids from the hood who could most
Yo,
benefit the kids who could most benefit from having the most skilled care are the kids who there's the lowest standards for who actually
Absolutely.
and works with them. That's something I really got to see in my years working at the group home is like the people who came from some graduate school to learn how to work with kids like this, they're going to be at some other place where you get a bigger check
so
than this.
just so you know, like what
So in this case, it was kind of a blessing because I was able to fit in and make it work. But I probably shouldn't have even got that job.
on the other hand, you getting that job probably made a huge difference in a lot of people's lives.
I mean, yeah, I can say, connecting with the kids there's no better feeling than reconnecting with a kid and hearing from them how just little things that I wouldn't even have remembered like really had an impact on them and helped them out. Like you get to hear a lot of that. That's like the biggest blessing I think of teaching in general. My mom also became a teacher and got to experience that same sort of thing of like, man, kids remember when you look out for them, when you make them
Yeah,
feel like they deserve a type of respect they haven't got. Like that's something that I've learned they carry with them.
yeah. That's a big fact because you don't. I remember being in that environment. Like my parents don't listen to me, teachers don't listen. And you just like get this attitude where it's just like, yo, just like it genuinely is. A parents don't understand. Like a general like like generalization that like adults just don't get it, you know. So I remember being that age and feeling like that devoutly. So it's just like it's really important to me to always be like as welcoming and open, you know, with kids to like be like, yo, you can be honest with me. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. You're just a young person. That's it. Like you're gonna be an older person later on in life. You know, it behooves me to like speak to you like the person that you're gonna be one day,
Right.
instead of
Right.
talking to you like the person
Right.
that you are right now.
And you don't get a lot of that. Like this is where kids wind up when the system has given up educating them. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no expectation that this is an institution that they get paid based on how many nights each kid sleeps in the bed and doesn't run away. Like whether they get educated and graduate, that doesn't factor in. Doesn't factor into the budget at all.
Right.
So it's up to each individual working there whether they want to give the kid more than just babysitting, making sure you don't fight each other, making sure you don't run away.
Right.
If y'all know Max B, he was actually one of my students as a kid at the group home.
What?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Back when he was Charlie Wingate.
That's crazy.
And I didn't know that.
The wave god.
Yeah, I didn't know for mad
god.
long. From talking to my other former students on Facebook, one of them hit me to it. Said, yo, you know Max B is Charlie, right? And it was like the end of Sixth Sense. I was like, oh shit, that is the same person.
Yo, that's so crazy. Oh my God, that's amazing. That
and
is
also another
amazing.
one more hip hop connection. I work with Styles P's mother. She was one of the other assistant teachers in the school.
Wow.
Cool.